I love myself. I choose myself. 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 Hi, guys. That's one of my little affirmation songs. But happy Sunday. I'm excited about today's message. Just like all the messages I do, I'm very passionate about today's message, but I'm a little more passionate about today's message because I feel like people need to understand how deep this shit is and how real it is. And I used to not believe in the whole like soul tie thing. Anytime people would talk about soul ties, I would just mute my ears. I would just go deaf. I'm like, I ain't trying to hear all that. I'm trying to I'm trying to get it in. I'm not trying to be abstinent. I'm not like worried about, oh, I'm gonna get attached, oh, I'm gonna have a soul tie. Like, no. My flesh wants to, do it, so I'm gonna do it. That's how I used to think. But now I'm the complete opposite. And by the way, if you can't hear me, please let me know. Somebody in the chat, if you can't hear me right now and everything I'm saying is completely mute, please let me know. But if you can hear me, let me know you can hear me too. But yeah, I'm gonna get into the message probably in like 30 seconds. But I feel like I need to drink some water because my voice is already giving out. I'm like, why does I think it's because I'll be feeling anxious when I come on here. So it's like I'll be forgetting to breathe. So 1 second, we'll be starting very soon. Hi guys. Hola. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get right into the message. So first and foremost, what is a soul tie? In my opinion, a soul tie is when you have an attachment to somebody through sex. Even though if you took sex away, you wouldn't have an attachment to this person. So that's my opinion of what a soul tie is. Having an attachment to a person you had sex with that you otherwise wouldn't have an attachment to. And some people say a soul tie can be a good thing, or soul ties can be platonic, or soul ties aren't just developed through sex. In my opinion, I disagree. And there's people who share the same definition as me. And the reason why I believe a soul tie isn't a good thing is because a soul tie is not the same as a soul connection. Having a soul connection is a positive thing, but having a soul tie, that's not a positive thing. Let me tell you why. Think about the difference in words. Think about when people use the word tie. Let's say somebody says, I'm tied up or I'm tied down. Are they saying that in a positive way? No, they're saying it in a negative way. But think about when people use the word connection. It's always a positive thing. When you have a soulful connection to a person, you feel seen, you feel heard, you feel understood, you feel respected. That's a soul connection. But when you have a soul tie, that is unhealthy. It's not a positive thing, in my humble opinion. And like I said, Some people have different opinions. Some people say like a soul tie can be a good thing or a negative thing. A soul tie can be with somebody platonic. A soul tie doesn't have to just be somebody you have sex with. And like I said, I disagree because here's the thing about sex. Here's the thing about that 3-letter word. People don't understand when you have sex with a person, that releases oxytocin. Oxytocin is literally a chemical that makes you feel love. It makes you feel like you love a person, it makes you feel like they love you. But here's the thing, just because you having sex with somebody doesn't mean y'all love each other. When people say, "Oh, I want to make love," how we gonna make love when we don't even love each other? We barely even know each other. So it's like I really, I really hate how much people downplay it because I used to downplay it too, but that's because I was ignorant. I didn't know any better. So, like I said, I didn't used to believe in soul ties. And even when it got to a point where I was like, yeah, I believe soul ties are real, I thought like a soul tie could be a positive thing or a negative thing. But now I realize no, a soul tie is a negative thing. That means you tied to somebody that you shouldn't be tied to. But the only reason you tied to them is because y'all been smashing. And here's the thing about soul ties. In my humble opinion, I'm not an expert. I'm not saying I know everything and I have all the answers. But in my humble opinion, a soul tie, I feel like with a soul tie, if you have sex with a person just once or even a few times, even just a handful of times, it's possible for you not to have a soul tie to that person. But if it's somebody you've had sex with for an extended period of time, let's say you've been having sex with somebody on a consistent basis for months, maybe even years, that is definitely going to develop a soul tie. Now, here's the thing, let's say you truly love a person, y'all truly have a soulful connection, and y'all are also, having sex. I'm not going to say that's a soul tie because you had a soulful connection with that person first and y'all truly do love each other. But if you have sex with a person that you do not love and you're having sex with them on a regular basis, it's not just a one night stand or, oh, I just had sex with this person a few times. No, you've had sex with this person 50, 60, maybe even 100 times, maybe even 300 times. If y'all having sex every day, like y'all been talking for a year, that's 365 days. The more you have sex with a person, the stronger the soul tie gets. When I think about all the guys that I had soul ties with, all of those guys are the guys that I had the most sex with throughout any other guy I've, been, intimate with. And the reason why is because of the oxytocin. You might say to yourself or even to them that you don't love them, but you have an attachment to them that's really a false version of love because of the oxytocin from you constantly having sex with that person. And like I said, I used to think sex was just sex. And the only reason why I was able to detach from a guy was because I would get under a new guy. I would go from one guy to another. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm not attached to him. Like, I don't care about him. I'm over him. Well, yeah, the reason why you over him is because you up under somebody else. And that's why I was so desensitized because I was sharing my body with different men, different men that I really did not have a soulful connection with, but I ended up having a soul tie with. I can honestly say there's no man that I've ever been with that I truly had a soulful or spiritual connection. There's been no man. Yes, I've had attraction. I've had chemistry. There's even guys I was compatible with. but I never had a soulful connection. I never truly had a spiritual connection. And that's why people need to understand how deep this shit is. One second. Hola. Hi guys. I'm sorry I haven't said hi. I just been focused on getting the message out there and I get distracted easily. So that's the only reason why I don't respond to the chat sometimes. But I don't want y'all to think I'm ignoring y'all. I just get distracted really easily and then I forget what I'm gonna say because I be trying to reply to people in the chat. But hi guys, thank you for watching. I really appreciate you being here. But yeah, where was I? Let me look at my notes. um, oh, but yeah, here's another thing to think about. Most of us are born out of soul ties. Most of us are born out of soul ties. We're not born out of true godly love between two people. And that's what breeds generational curses. Think about all the different humans, all the different humans walking this planet. A lot of them have the story of two people just having sex and oh, now we have a kid. I'm pregnant. They didn't have sex because they truly loved each other. God did not put those two people together. It was lust. It was lust. It was their flesh. And even that's another consequence of having a soul tie is when you bring another life into this world, when people are born out of soul ties and not true love, that breeds generational curses because 9 times out of 10, those two people that unconsciously or even intentionally and consciously decided to create a human together, they had unresolved trauma and them deciding to reproduce with each other. They're passing that trauma on to their kids. They're passing that trauma on to their child, all because they gave into lust, they gave into their flesh. And that's another thing to think about too. Oh, and there was 2 videos I came across on TikTok. There was one video I came across, this girl, she said she had been abstinent for almost 2 years. Then she broke it. She slipped up and broke it. And she was talking about how she regretted it and how it made her feel. And how she even said the guy that she broke her abstinence with, he was a good guy. He was nice. He was respectful. He didn't disrespect her. He was a gentleman. But they did not love each other. They were not even in a relationship. And even outside of that, she made a decision to wait until marriage. So even if they did say they love each other, oh, we're in a relationship, that's still a commitment she made to herself and to God. And she was talking about how she regretted it. And she said it didn't happen just one time. This went on for months. She broke her abstinence and they literally just started having sex on a regular. And this went on for months. And she was talking about how at first she was cool. She was like, "Oh, this is cool. Like, I don't feel bad. Like this is cool. This isn't toxic. Like, he's a good guy. Like, but then after like a few weeks, she felt herself becoming anxious and obsessive. And it's because of that attachment, it's because of that soul tie. She knew that she didn't love this man, and she knew he didn't love her. But here she was, feeling like she did, all because she was having sex with him on a regular basis. And this can even happen with men. I've talked to men who, and I'd be surprised when men be saying they felt the same way. I'm surprised because I be feeling like guys are more able to detach. And I think it's probably because of the testosterone. But guys, I feel like they're more able to detach, even with guys, a guy can have a soul tie to a woman too, even if he doesn't realize it, even if he doesn't admit it. Because here's the thing, I'm sure there's guys out there who have kept going back to a toxic ex, who have kept dealing with a woman that they knew was crazy, or they knew that she was no good. Why? Because they had a soul tie. That's why. It can happen with men and women, but I feel like women need to be a little more careful because we are more sensitive. We are more in touch with our emotions, which I think is a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing if you're putting yourself in certain positions. Mhm. Mm. I feel like I need to breathe. That's why I say when I'm anxious and I'm excited, I be forgetting to breathe. Oh, but yeah. Then it was another video that I watched of this girl, and she said she was abstinent for 3 years. And the first time that she had sex, when she broke her abstinence, the very first time that she broke her abstinence after 3 years, and it wasn't even planned. She just slipped up. Guess what? She said she ended up pregnant. She was literally on TikTok crying, saying like, I can't believe like I broke my abstinence after 3 years and now I'm pregnant. I'm like, wow, she's pregnant after having sex once, after not having sex for 3 years. And if I needed a reminder to remain abstinent, those two videos were my reminders. I was like, hell nah, I refuse to feel that way because I already know that feeling. Even when I was sexually active, I remember that feeling of having an attachment to somebody, an unhealthy attachment, feeling anxious, not knowing where I stood with that person, but constantly giving them my body, thinking it would make them stick around. And sometimes they did stick around, but not for the right reasons. So you're probably wondering, well, how do I break a soul tie? Number one, in my opinion, you can do what you want, but in my opinion, one of the number one ways to break a soul tie, even if you have multiple soul ties, and especially if you have multiple soul ties, is refrain from sex for an extended period of time. And I know some people are not going to want to hear that. Like, what you mean? Not have sex for an extended period of time? I'm not going to tell you how long. I'm not going to tell you how long because everybody is different. Maybe if you're a person who can't even go a couple weeks without having sex, maybe just try to abstain for 6 months. Just 6 months. If you're a person, if you're a person who feels like you can't go without sex for a few days or even a few weeks, just try to refrain from it for about 6 months, maybe even a year. If you can do a year, try to do it for a year. Also, meditate on the strongest soul ties you've had. Or even if it's just one soul tie that you're struggling with, meditate on it. Really sit and think to yourself, why did those relationships or situationships not work? Really sit and meditate on that. And really sit and meditate on that person's character. Take the sex away. Completely take sex out of the equation. Meditate on that person's character. Did they treat you right? Do you feel like they really understood you and respected you and made you feel seen? If the answer is no, understand you didn't really love that person. You just had a soul tie with them. You just had an unhealthy attachment to them, but it wasn't love. So I would encourage you to sit and meditate on that. That's what I did. These 3 years of me being abstinent, I've meditated on all that. And God has given me so much revelation and so much wisdom. And I look back and I'm like, I've never actually been in love. Every man I've ever dealt with, when I look back, me knowing what I know now and knowing what love truly is, I can honestly say I've never been in love. I've never been in love. And really, it was because I didn't know what love was and I didn't love myself. But yeah, also forgive the past, forgive yourself, and forgive them. If you have any resentment towards, I'm losing my voice. Lord Jesus, help me finish this live. My voice is giving out. Hopefully, you guys, hopefully, you guys can still understand me and hear me somewhat. Because I feel like my voice is going hoarse, but we're almost done. But yeah, forgive yourself and forgive them. If you have any resentment towards them, forgive them. And like I said, forgive the past. What's done is done. You can't change it. It's every single man I've ever done it with. Every single man I've ever given my body to. I wish I could erase it. I wish I could take it back. I wish I could be a virgin right now. But guess what? I can't. So it is what it is. I'm not going to beat myself up over it. Also, most importantly, seek God. Pray. Ask God to help you detach from this person. Or even if it's multiple people, ask God to help you to detach from anybody from your past. And even if you're not willing to wait till marriage, because you can do what you want. This is not a video of me being like, everybody needs to be abstinent, everybody needs to wait until marriage. Ideally, do I think that would be a good idea and the world would be a better place? Absolutely. But realistically, I know everybody ain't about to do that. But if you're not going to wait until marriage, number one, at least use protection. Please protect yourself because it's crazy out here. I was driving past this billboard and it said it's a new strain of gonorrhea that's drug resistant, meaning it's a certain strain of gonorrhea that drugs can't kill. That's scary to think about. So I'm like, yo, that's low key like the new AIDS. That's low key like the new HIV. But yeah, protect yourself. Not only protect yourself from diseases, but protect yourself from any unplanned pregnancies. Having a child when you know damn well you wasn't trying to have a child, you was just trying to get it in. Just use protection. But even outside of that, really think about all that may come with having sex with that person. Before you have sex with that person, before you lay down with them, really sit and think about all that might come out of that. No pun. No pun. But yeah, really sit and think about all that may come with having sex with that person and whether or not they're worthy of you sharing your body with, whether you a man or a woman. Because some people make it seem like only women should be pure and only women should respect themselves and only women should not have sex with a bunch of different people. I feel like even a man who respects himself should be the same way. Even as a man, you shouldn't just be sharing your body with any woman. I've heard crazy stories. Like one story I heard, this man said he used to get girls. He was a ladies' man, so like he ain't ever had problems with, finding somebody to smash. And he like used to feel like sex is just sex. Like it's just a way for me to get pleasure. It's not that deep. But one time he had sex with this girl. And when he woke up the next day, he felt like he felt like something was over him. Like his house just had this dark energy. And I say all that to say, even men have to be careful. Because when you have sex with a person, that's a spiritual exchange. And you don't know what type of spirits people are carrying. So, yeah, y'all be safe out there. I love y'all. Please make sure you like this video. And if you're not subscribed, please make sure you subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. I love you.